whether you are a trading card game fan or a Disney fan, even both, there is something that has been announced pretty recently that will probably pique your interest. And that is the announcement that was made at the end of August revealing Disney's trading card game called Lorcana. Now, this is not scheduled to release until fall of 2023, so it's still going to be a while, but they have started revealing a little bit of information, including a few cards, but the gameplay itself and all of that is still kind of not really been announced yet. So this is still a very early look, but I want to talk about what we know so far, the information that is out there, and kind of talk about my thoughts on some of the like development teams kind of quotes from someone who has been playing a ton of card games for 25 years. So let's dive into this. This game, Disney Lorcana, was first revealed at the end of August 2022. So very recently, as of the recording here, we got an article on Polygon that kind of was talking about the reveal, and it states that, this is a collectible card game, but it's a trading card game. And I don't know, they mention kind of Magic and Pokemon as maybe this could rival that. I'm not really sure. Maybe more of the Pokemon side. I don't know how far it will go into Magic territory, but again, all of this is still very early. But one thing that's very interesting is obviously it's partnered with Disney, so there's going to be a lot of familiar characters if you watch any Disney animations. But the other thing is they have partnered with Ravensburg, who is the actual kind of game publisher. And you might recognize that if you have seen any of the board games, Disney Villainous. And yeah, these bring characters from Disney, Marvel, Star Wars together. Well, mostly really the villains. But they've already been working on that, so they've kind of already expanded into this territory a little bit, but this is diving even deeper. Now, the one thing that I really want to talk about in this Polygon article specifically is the mention from, in this article, it says brand manager Ryan Miller. He's referred to as something else in the other article I'm about to talk about, so I'm not really sure if it's kind of a both, if they don't specifically have a title for him. But Ryan Miller, veteran Wizards of the Coast developer and judge, all sorts of stuff, has quite a history with card games, but talked about this Disney Lorcana and says that they're definitely expecting trading card game players, but they're also expecting a lot of people who just want to collect the cards, and it will be more focused on, the fun side and the characters that they know. So they're kind of trying to appeal to a wide audience. The very interesting thing I feel in this article, though, is Miller says, Magic, I would say, has a very high competitive level. People love that about Magic. We've pulled back from it. I wouldn't say that we're cooperative in any sense. It's definitely a strategy card game. But I would say that we've pulled back the confrontation level because we feel that that will appeal to a lot more folks. So if you think of chess as the highest confrontation level you can get, we're a bunch of notches behind that because we want people to have fun with these characters that they love so much. Now, that to me, as someone who's been in card games for a very long time and has also done quite a bit in terms of competitive, that to me does not feel like a competitive thing. And the first statement of saying Magic has a high competitive level, people love that, and we pulled back, seems very counterintuitive and almost seems like it's going against the statement. So like, if people love that about Magic and they're pulling back from that, that doesn't quite make sense to me. So I'm really curious to see actually how they approach this. I definitely understand the aspect of trying to appeal to a wider audience and make it more fun. And I really do think that that's kind of how Pokemon specifically really started. I think from the get-go, Magic was a little bit more intense and geared towards older players, even though it could include, a younger audience. But I think Pokemon really was geared towards the younger audience. And the confrontation level of chess, it's just not clicking for me on where exactly they're going with this. Because then, if we flip over to this article that was just posted pretty recently on comicbook.com, there, again, in this article, they refer to Ryan Miller as, I believe, a co-designer. Again, I'm not really sure, but in this, he really dives into talking a little bit more about the competitive side and talks about his first job at Wizards of the Coast was judging for Magic the Gathering tournaments, and they absolutely have a strong plan for organized play. It's going to be geared to ease collectors into learning how to play the game. That's what the article says. So they're expecting to get this mix of players. Again, if they have this focus on the organized play aspect, but then looking at the quote from the first article of they pulled back from the competitive aspect, I'm really just interested to see what kinds of levels of competitiveness they are aiming for and how it really fits in. I imagine this probably will be very successful just because of the name and branding behind it. But in terms of players who are really into TCGs and competing, I'm not quite sure what the level is going to be yet. It might be kind of more casual competition and might not be as developed as world championships. But again, because of the branding, the popularity behind Disney, it could very well have that success just because of that branding. So I'm really curious to see what they kind of do with this, but let's jump in to some of the cards and talking about those because some of this is actually being showcased with this first full weekend, this weekend of September the 9th through the 11th. It's being kind of displayed and talked about and shown off a bit at the D23 Expo in Anaheim, California. And they have a collector set and everything, and have revealed that the first set, when this launches in fall of 2023, is going to be called Disney Lorcana, the First Chapter. And the cards in this collector set will be part of that first chapter, but the collector set, they're a little more fancy and a little more specialized for the collector set themselves. But let's take a look at these cards that they did reveal. So the first one is actually a Mickey Mouse card. And again, they haven't really dived into the details or gameplay. So some of these numbers, some of the kind of keywords, the aspects, we don't really know what they mean yet. But for those of us who have played a lot of card games, we can kind of gather some information, like potentially some sort of attack and health values. And it's really just interesting. These do seem very kind of straightforward. There's doesn't seem to be a ton of detailed text on these. So again, kind of leaning more into that easier to learn, more fun, friendly aspect of the game. And they also revealed Stitch, of course, huge fan. They revealed Robin Hood, Captain Hook, Elsa. Of course, you got to have Elsa in there. Cruella de Vil, Maleficent as the monstrous dragon. Perfect. I love dragons. I can't wait for that. Again, some of these aspects like this dragon fire and banishing, we don't really know what those are yet, but they did reveal these in addition to a quick little teaser trailer to advertise it. Now, I'm really intrigued by this. I probably will try it out. This is a physical card game, so I haven't seen anything yet on any type of intention for them to create a digital version of it. It seems like it is just going to be a physical, paper card game, cardboard aspect. Again, we don't really know anything else outside of kind of this little bit of information that has been revealed, but it's definitely a very interesting concept. And again, because of the branding, I do think it's going to be hugely and wildly successful, at least at the beginning. How it develops over the years and its longevity and popularity over years, we will see. That's always the struggle with card games, is when they are new and first announced, it's, it's a very shiny, appealing game. And over time, many card games end up just kind of dying off or just losing out on a lot of their player base. So I'm not sure how this is going to pan out over the long term, but definitely willing to try it out. So I'm very interested to see. I think the only way you can get the collector's set, which is actually just those 6 cards for now, the only way for now to get that is by being at that D23 Expo in Anaheim, California. I haven't seen any other way for people to obtain it, although I'm sure that these are going to be selling for enormous amounts of money on things like eBay. And if I don't know if I would go that far, but that very well could be very similar to Magic's kind of economy as well, where some of those very rare cards do go for a lot of money. So, what do you think of this card game? Are you interested in this at all? Do you feel like you're going to check it out when it does come out, or even potentially do any sort of pre-orders or get it when it comes out in fall of 2023? Have you even heard of this yet? Let me know in the comments below. And I can't wait to kind of see how this develops and hear, especially as a competitive player, I'm really kind of curious what their goal is with that organized play and the higher levels of that organized play rather than just locally. So I can't wait to hear more. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.